What's up, guys? This is Zach from Miami Misplays. I'm coming at you with a new deck today called Three Musketeers. I've played in the last two tournaments in my local area the past 2 days. The first day I fared as X2 and didn't go too well. And then today I went X1, coming in second place. So this is my list for Three Musketeers. Let me know what you guys like. I'll talk about my matches and some ideas that I came up with midway through and, the help I have with this. So getting started, we've got 4 copies of Gazimon as our baby. Gazimon is an on deletion, draw 1 to discard 1. With Three Musketeers, you're gonna see that you want to fill your discard and you want to pick and choose which one you want. Originally, in my first tournament, I was actually playing for Gazimon, which is my 5th baby now. And in that tournament, I just felt like while drawing was nice, sometimes I just need to guarantee to draw and discard as well. And the Gazimon is where I get that guarantee. So I swapped it out today and it definitely helped a lot. So 4 Demi and 1 Gazimon. Now getting over into the Digimon, starting with our rookie lineup. Now my last deck, again, started off with, I think I only played 10 rookies. Today I was playing 14 rookies. I wanted to up it up. A lot of people say you don't need too many rookies in this deck. I think it's just good. Some people want to make you go first and you want to hurt them for that at least. So we're playing 4 copies of Intmon. Intmon on deletion, trash the top 3 cards of your deck. This definitely is what helps speed up the deck a lot. Besides swinging and most likely dying because it's only 1,000, triggering the Demi-Mera, the Intmon itself will trash 3 more, and hopefully, usually you get at least 1. And if you don't, you're digging through your deck and getting to the cards that you're going to want to see. So we've got the 4 Imp. We've got 4 copies of Labramon. Now before I was playing Soundbird for the memory gain. Soundbird says when you attack, you can discard 1 option card to gain 1 memory. And then of course when I was playing Sunamon, and if I had like other ways of drawing, it would trigger. But Labramon seemed more immediate. It's an on play, draw 1 then discard 1. So I also got to see a card without having to have the Sunamon under it. Putting a body on the board that was only 3, and then seeing another card further and picking the card out of my hand to discard, because sometimes I didn't have an option, and it'd be nice if I have to, if I can and I have to, discard maybe the Gundramon from hand just to help lower the BL stars of cost. So 4 copies of Labramon. He was actually really great. Both those cards are great, and I love them both today. Now, I was playing 3 copies of this yesterday, but again, like I said, I wanted to up my rookie count, so I pumped it back up to 4. Now, this is the Intmon that says, on play, you can trash a card from your hand, and if you do, you can return 1 Digimon with the 7 great Demon Lords or 3 Musketeers type in its type from your trash to your hand. So this is pretty much to pick up your BL Stars or pick up your Gundramons. I think I've only ever used it to pick up BL Star. I don't think I've used it to pick up a Gundramon yet. But I think there was a scenario where I almost had it, but I still picked up the BL Star. The reason I was playing 3 before, and the same reason as of today, generally one of them gets built into the back because I need a swinger, or I need to keep going, moving forward, and I need to draw. So occasionally one of these ends up being built in the back, and that's why I was playing at 3 before. And I'm probably going to swap this out for a 3rd Gazimon. Today, Gazimon was an MVP in the rookies section. And in this format, he's an MVP. So this is 4 right now, but like I said, I definitely want to put this to 3 and then play triple Gazi. As of today, I did play 2 Gazimon. Gazimon, all turns, your opponent can't gain memory. Absolutely a beast against blue. It came in handy against 2 of the blue matches, and it would have came in handy against the my 1 loss against yellow, actually. It was Mastemon. Gaining a lot of memory from trashing their own security, from playing a Digimon, the level 4, the new one that says when on play, gain 2 memory if you have 3 or less security, and things like that. And Gazimon definitely would have helped in that situation. In fact, it would have stopped him from winning game 2 against me and taking the match. So I'm going to pump this up to 3. Gazimon was an MVP today, as only a 2-0 so far. Now getting into our champions, we've got the main champion, 4 copies of Deputymon. This guy is the gas of the deck, pretty much. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with 3 Musketeers in its type, and or, which I should say, apparently there's an errata I found out today, but hey, you live and you learn, that if you flip an option and a Three Musketeers card, you must pick them both up. Even though it does say and or, apparently it was errated to where you must pick up both. So, and or one option of 7 cost. And of course, all day today I kept flipping one of each, and I was like, oh man, I was trying to fill up my graveyard. But hey, still a great card, still gas, getting everything to my hand, and still milling the deck to get to see what I need. And then, your turn, this Digimon can Digivolve into a Digimon with 3 Musketeers for a cost of 6, ignoring its color requirements. So you can go ahead and use Gundramon. Honestly, the only thing is Gundramon, but Digivolve Gundramon over the Deputymon for 6, especially if you're at 3, just putting them at 3, and then getting a blocker on board, that's 11k, and at the same time, he himself, Gundramon, when Digivolving, will trigger to mill 5, and trigger an option out of the 5 that he mills if he does. Great card, definitely 4-0, nothing else I could say about it. I only used Gundramon a few times over, to be honest. Today, Deputymon was definitely a main target for people, which was nice because if people focus Deputymon, they're using some cards on that instead of maybe things like the Gazi or my blockers. Now we've got 3 Valmon as blockers. 6k blockers is the way to go this format, especially with Gazimon running around, being able to kill 5k blockers. I mean, I think 6k blockers have been a thing for a little bit now. Just 5k just seems to be the threshold where you're gonna die. Also, I'm not trying to build up and get into a 5 or a 6 from Digivolving, so honestly, I didn't mind paying 1 extra memory, and a lot of the times being put at 1, the Valmon was very useful to just put them back to 1. Aside from that, it's a blocker, and we play Nail Bones, and it's a level 4, so target for Nail Bone and a blocker on board. And then the last two, sorry about the pronunciation, Ginkakumon Promote. Now this one has Rush, so when you bring it out through the Nail Bone, it can swing immediately, and then on play, an effect where if you have a Kinkaku and a Gukakumon, you can put them under them and then draw 1, discard 1, and then trigger their effects to gain a memory and such. I don't play them, so for me it's just a Rush. It also Digivolves over a level 4 for 1, which was pretty nice because if I wanted to swing, even if they put me to 1, I can put it over the Valmon and then swing with the Valmon if they try to stop me, from swinging twice, whatever the case may be. And it's 6k, which is also really nice. Again, 5k blockers can't stop it, 6k blockers have to kill themselves to stop it. And again, Nail Bone target for that Rush. Now, I only played 1 copy of Chimeramon. This was an idea I got from my buddy Adam, who plays 3 Musketeers. He's been playing it since the beginning, and he does really well the deck and tops constantly with it. So, yeah, I saw him playing it yesterday when I was playing, and he was playing, I don't know if he was playing 1 or 2, I think he was playing 2. I just played the 1 of because I didn't feel like I needed to, and it's also just to get a plus off of the Zwart that I play, but I didn't see it once, all 4 matches. So it's staying in the deck for right now because I do want to see what happens when it's actually in my hand, but I had not seen it once in my hand, nor was it ever in my discard when I went into a Zwart. So maybe I need to pump it to 2 to actually see what it does, but I just didn't want to. I wanted to be able to keep the lower levels at a higher rate, and I didn't want to lower my options or my anything else, to be honest. So right now we're going to keep it at 1 and see how that goes. Now getting into our megas, we've got the main one, 4 copies of Starmon. This card loves to be in my security more than anything else, let me tell you. Thank God I play those those Impmons. Now this is, when playing this card from your hand, you can reduce its play cost by 1 for each Musketeer Digimon card and option card with a 7 cost in your trash. So that's the whole point of the deck. That's why we're trashing cards, just drawing cards or discard cards. We're trying to get rid of those options in the discard, and we're trying to maybe get rid of some Gundramons that are clogging up our hand. We don't really need 3 in our hand. So definitely helps out there, and the main reason you're playing it is because it has an on play. You can return 1 option with a 7 cost to your hand. Then you can use 1 option with a cost of 7 from your hand and play it without paying the cost of memory. So it lets you play your 7 cost spells for free when you pay for this card itself. Obviously, a lot of 7 cost cards are kill cards. We've got Fly Bullet. I mean, I'm gonna get into them, but this card is amazing. Even when I'm playing it for 5, 6, even 7 cost, it's too much. It's a mega on the board, and then it also ends up, blowing something up or triggering an option that I need or Nail Bone, and the fact that I can pick any option I need, that's a 7 cost in the discard, is great and wonderful. Now we've got 3 copies of the Gundramon. Let me tell you, today I feel like I on-played this guy more than I actually digivolved into him. I digivolved into him once or twice, and I triggered his effect like once or twice. He's a blocker, he's 11k, and then when digivolving, you reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, and you may play 1 7 cost option amongst them, and then trash the remaining cards. And then he has a second effect where if you don't trigger that, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a 4 cost or less. Sadly, when I was trying to do this, they didn't have a 4 cost or less. It was a rough time for him, and like I said, I ended up on playing him in a few matches, which did help me, to be honest. Being 11k blocker is great in this format, and early on when you're playing against decks, either Rookie Rush, Gazimon, that in the very beginning of the match can't do too much with a lot of memory, and you just chunk and play this guy, he's great. And the fact that we're playing a few 7s in this deck, or level 7s, don't make it the worst option to go into him immediately or on play him. You know, and again, he's a Musketeer card, so now you can play any Musketeer option card in your hand. And then for my level 7s, we've got 2 copies of Defeat. I think there was a few games where he was in my security, but I won those games, so I never even got to see him come out. Aside from that, he was in my hand. There was only, I think, 1 time I actually, or 2 times, I digivolved into the Omni Defeat over the BL Star or over the blocker, but probably I think over the BL Star. And just swinging in to either kill something, present a body to be able to delete something. I never got to the point where I actually had to use its on deletion effect. I did blow up a tamer with it one time, which was really nice. And that's really it for him. I play the 1 copy of Omnimon Zwart. This did make a play, I think, in my round 2, digivolving into him, and my opponent just kind of scooped once I went into him because it presented, after digivolving into him, yes, I didn't have the Chimeramon to try and blow stuff up as well, but I did bring out a Gazi and a blocker, which kind of just shut them down to a point where once I played this, I only put them to 3, and they couldn't use their boost to digivolve, or to go past 4 to digivolve without ending their turn, and lock them in place with that, and then the blocker just to keep myself alive. And then we've got the 1 copy of Antibody X. Again, thank you, Yadam, for playing this card. Now, this card was in my hand quite a few times today, and like I said, I really didn't get to go into these guys too often to really make use of the Antibody X. There was only 1 game, the game I lost, against Lewis, who was playing Mastemon, and he had a tamer on board, put me to 4, I had a BL Star, I went over the defeat, went to 1, swung over his Digimon, and then digivolved into the antibody to try and lock him in. I was at 1 security left. He had a level 5 in the back. Since I blew up his tamer and I put him at 2, I felt like I was good, but I didn't have the Gazi on board. So he came out, Mastemon, put me to 2, and then brought out a Digimon that said gain 2 memory. And he did have another Digimon left, so he had 2 attackers. I could only stop 1 attack. It was okay. I didn't actually get to fully use this card to its potential, so I'm still keeping it in as a 1-of, and see where it goes from there. Otherwise, it might be a flex spot for either another Zwart, another defeat, which another defeat this meta is really well, and I might go into another defeat if I don't see play again with it the next tournament. Now, getting into our options, we've got 4 copies of Fly Bullet. Fly Bullet allows you to use this card without meeting its color requirements if you have a Musketeer on board, aka if I have the Gundramon. But to be honest, I have purple babies and purple cards everywhere. So usually always my purple ones are not a problem. And then it's just delete 1 level 6 or lower Digimon. Great card. My only issue is one time I ran into a Blitz in one of my games. I won the match, thank God. I didn't see too many Blitzes after that first game, but that Blitz was honestly almost impossible to kill. It takes 2 kill spells to kill it, and honestly my Fly Bullet doesn't do the job already, so that's the first problem. But other than that, Fly Bullet was really well against my other matches, and just, you know, killing anything. I've used Fly Bullet to kill a rookie, champion, ultimate, whatever I need to keep clearing the board as well, and taking advantage. And using the spells from your hand are not bad at all, because it's slowly building up the BL Star to be cheaper, and then at the same time just reusing them again once you play the BL Star, so it's just playing them over and over. But I do play 4 copies because I do want to see it in my security, and it's pretty advantageous. Now we've got 3 copies of Trump Sword. This is delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. This is a great card because now I don't have to meet those level requirements, and it's my counter to Gabumon. Almost every time Gabumon goes, swing security, restand, and then once they swing into the Trump Sword, clap city from there. Trump Sword, I'm definitely going to keep at 3. I don't think I'm going to lower it or increase it. When it came to the Blitz, I mean, it's a Blitz, so it was sideways, and I couldn't use it against it. And of course, he's just going to keep it sideways. But Trump Sword is still a very good card for the rest of the meta. Jesmon restands, Gabumon restands. So again, decent card for the meta. And I mean, I did run into a War Greymon today, and yellow War Grey does restand, but I mean, he ran into a BL Star, so the situation never appeared. Now I've got 2 copies of Nailbone. This is, you can play from your hand to on play a level 3 purple and a level 4 purple from your discard, and of course on play effects do not trigger. And its security effect is that you can play 1 level 4 or lower, and on play effects don't trigger. Nailbone, again, great card, using the Nailbone to bring out like a Gazi on a blocker most of the time. Other than that, when it's in security, it pops out a blocker, usually speaking. Or I just might bring out an Intmon just to, you know, gain more, or the Gazi. It's a pretty powerful card. And then, of course, once I'm to the point where either I have enough memory to play the BL Star for free without ending my turn, these Nailbones become great with the Ginkaku promote to bring him out and swing and get a free swing in addition, essentially. Now I've got 2 copies of Gewart. This card single-handedly handled my Rookie Rush match round 1. And when I mean single-handedly, I mean single-handedly. Played it from hand. I had I believe the Gundramon out. Not the Gundramon. Yeah, I did. I on-played a Gundramon, gave him a whole bunch of memory. I just played the Gewart from hand, blew up everything that he had on-played, and then he, you know, I put him back to like 5-6, so he played all his cards again, pretty much leaving with 1, and then I just played a BL Star for like 8-9, picked up, or like, honestly, I think I played it for 11, he put me to 1, and I played a BL Star, put him to 10, and just Gewarted again and cleared the whole board all over again. He immediately scooped after that. Game 2, similar scenario. Gewart pretty much took care of the whole match for me. So yeah, Gewart, great card against those spam decks. And then 1 copy of Happy Bullet Showering. I'm seeing why people play 2 of this now, seeing that it's not like Fly Bullet with a level requirement of like what it has to kill, it just kills the lowest. So once they have only that 1 boss monster that's probably hard to kill, or, you know, can survive something, or it's just level 7 and too big for the Fly Bullet, Happy Bullet Showering can come in handy and can kill multiple things at once. So if you get spam with Gabumons, you know, or Gabumons, you can blow them all out with just this 1 card. I don't think I used this card. I did use this card once. I used it actually to try and kill that Blitz off, just knocking off one of its material, and then I couldn't finish the Blitz off that game. But I did win the match. But yeah, I might play it at 2. We'll talk about it. And then I've got 4 Tamers, 2 copies of Sora and Mimi. At the start of your turn, if your opponent has a level 4, doesn't have a level 4 or lower Digimon, gain 2 memory. Not the greatest card this meta, saying that everybody has level 4s and 3s on board constantly, so the memory gain wasn't too out there or realistic. But the main ability of this, and the reason you play this card, the reason I'm playing 2, is because when you have a purple Digimon attack, you can draw a card, then discard a card. So it just fuels your engine, gives you the gas you need, and just moves you forward through the deck while just attacking your opponent, which is all you're really going to do with your rookies and your BL Stars once they're out. And then we've got 1 copy of Tai Mat. Now, Tai Mat today was a little helpful against one of the blue matches. That's where actually the only time I saw it. Were gaining 2 memory off of the opponent having a level 6 when off and triggered, and keeping me at 3. And then all turns, Digimon with Omnimon gain security attack +1. That I never got off, sadly. I never got to see the Omnimons. Like I said, I really got to see my Omnis this set, even though I was doing a draw discard method, so I wasn't milling blindly too much. I mean, there is a lot, but essentially when I did, I milled the Zwarts constantly, or the Omnis constantly. So I never got to see this off. Again, this is something I'm going to be playing one more time just to see if it goes off. But if it doesn't, I'll most likely be replacing it with an Izzy Joe that I was originally playing along with this. I was originally playing 4 of them. But I'm thinking about taking it out for the Izzy Joe. The Izzy Joe is the black tamer that says if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, gain 1, which allows them to stop them from swarming. And since I only play 2 Gewart, it is pretty nice if I don't have the Gewart to slow them down or not want them, or at least plus off of that at the same time. So most likely I may be going for that next time. Also, the Izzy Joe says whenever your black Digimon is destroyed, you can tap it to draw a card. And the Gundramon, obviously, as a blocker, is going to die. The Deputymon is a huge target once I put him on the board. It's usually a main focus to try and kill it. And that's really it about the black Digimon. So that's it for the deck. Now my matchups today were round 1 was Rookie Rush. And like I said, Gewart pretty much handled that game all on its own as a 2-0. This was the MVP of that match. Match 2 was against an Azulong OTK, who I was a little fearful for at first because I thought I was going to play Hex. I thought it was going to be swinging. I thought it was going to be an annoying match. I mean, I know I have a lot of kill cards, guys, but you never know. You never know. But I did end up winning that match as well. Honestly, that just took a lot of control. And again, Gazimon was a big part in taking care of that matchup and holding them back from being able to Azulong and gain memory off of the Azulong. So keeping them at 3 or 4 memory and then doing this. The Sora Joes were kind of a pain to deal with because they were getting memory, but luckily, thanks to my promote, I was able to Digivolve over some things, like if I on-played a blocker or something, and I just kept swinging with anything that didn't have a Digivolution to try and lock them down on the memory. My third round was against Lewis, the Mastemon match where I lost. He was gaining memory constantly. There was one misplay I think I did where I on-played the Gundramon from hand. He had nothing on board except I think level 5 in the back or level 4 in the back, and I knew he was going to build up into it anyway. He had the memory for it, so I told myself, oh, let me put the Gundramon down just to have the blocker, because I know yellow doesn't really have any type of explosions like that, or explosive power like that, at least from what I saw. But it was he ended up getting past it. Mastemon just put a very wide board, and I couldn't clear it. And then again, like I said, the Gazimons would have definitely helped out in that match, between the Wizardmons giving him a memory, the what was it? It was Wizardmons giving him a memory, and the level 4 yellow that says on play gain 2 memory, which is how you'd play Mastemon and keep it going within the same turn. So yeah, Gazimon definitely want to put it to 3. Most likely, like I said, taking out the Impmon that picks up BL stars and putting that to 3 and increasing Gazi to 3. And then my final match was against Hexa Zulong. And that match was very scary because, like I said, the Blitz was intimidating. Game 1, the Blitz backhanded me and absolutely dominated me game 1. I was able to come back game 2 and 3 just because honestly he didn't see the Blitz. I did go through the Hex and the Azulongs, but fly bullets were enough to keep them at bay, and I would lose at most 2, maybe. I think the second game I lost 4 security, but keeping them at bay with that and just having a blocker for his other like random Digimon was really all I needed. And that match went pretty well. The cards I'm definitely expecting to play, like I've said, is a Gazi I want to add. And the Izzy and Joe I'm probably going to add depending on how things go. Nailbone was definitely something I might want 3 of, but for now I'm going to stick with 2 and see how it goes. It all depends on honestly how that Chimeramon works in the next tournament. A cute trick I was thinking about was playing the Devimon. Possibly if I have a Gink in hand. Now this is more of a cute setup, but if I have the Gink in hand and I somehow can play the BL star without ending my turn, going into a Nailbone, bringing out the Devimon, and then going into a Gink over it to swing immediately into it, or just bringing it out in general, just because, I don't know, Devimon is a scary card. And seeing that I was playing Nailbone, even if I ended up milling it, I thought the Nailbone into a Devimon would be kind of cute. And then the last card is Millenniummon, which I was playing the day before. I took it out this time because, one, because I was playing the time mat, I wanted to get more Omnimon names, so I ended up throwing in the Zwart. And I don't know what other card I took out to fit in the Antibody X as well. Even with 4 names of Omnimon, I never met the match with the time mat and the Omnis, but hey, we'll find that out next tournament. But these are some flex cards I was thinking about playing. Chimeramon is definitely a flex spot for you guys. The time mat can definitely be a flex to another tamer. The antibodies are also another flex spot for either another level 7 or just another card in general. But other than that, as for my rookie lineup, besides changing the Intmon to a Gazimon, that's pretty much set. I don't think I want to change anything to that. My level 4 is also pretty much set. I like the 3 Vile and the 2 Gink. I don't think I need any more. Like Chimeramon, like I said, we're going to see. And then 3 Gundra, 4 BL Star felt perfectly fine to me today. But that's it, guys. I came second place today at Knowhere. Once I see the video, I'll probably link it in the description where you can see my match. Well, I'll link both matches, or I'll put the video link in their videos. But shout out to Dorktron Prime if you want to see those gameplays from Knowhere that they post every week, all right? My Misplays is out, guys. Have a good one. Oh, and Merry Christmas.